Welcome into the Washed Up Walk-Ons podcast. Very excited about tonight's guest and episode. Our first from the most recent Iowa Hawkeyes roster, fresh off of his career at Iowa and probably King walk-on at this point. I think he's taken over that that title. Joe Evans joins us. Joe, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
Dude, just a kid from Ames, huh?
Just a kid from good old Ames, Iowa.
Should have been a Cyclone.
Come on now.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. What's the story there? Give me the rundown on that quick.
Oh shoot, this is a long story.
Okay.
So,
well, we got time, about an hour.
Yeah, absolutely, we got time. So I'll just give the whole recruiting pitch too, which I'm not sure if I've ever went on air with this.
Okay, before you start, this is what I do. I interrupt people. The fans are sitting there like, let Joe talk. God damn it. How early did you start getting recruited at all?
Not really. I mean, I think I got my first official offer. It would have been the winter of my senior year.
Wow. Okay. So go into it.
Yeah. So my first offer was Concordia St. Paul. So always a huge fan of the old Golden Bears.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Always, wish them nothing but the best. But
they were going to give you free lunch every other Friday or something?
Yeah. Well, it's funny. So some of these schools, so Concordia said I could have went and started at quarterback. Iowa Western said I could have played a red zone QB and linebacker, which would have been elite.
That would have been sick.
Would have been crazy. So sweet. And then Upper Iowa, they threw everything at me and wanted me to come and play quarterback there.
Okay.
They gave me the whole.
How tall are you? Actually.
Actually?
Yeah.
I'm. People don't believe this. Everyone on the football team thinks I'm 5'10", but I'm a legit on the dot 6'2". At Pro Day, I'll probably get measured at 6'1", and right around 6'2".
0.61, 05 or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
6'2", man. You really are. You know why? It's because you're built like a goddamn house, dude. Not always that way, though. I actually, while you continue your recruiting story, I'm gonna pull up a picture of you from high school.
Oh, that's I don't know if we need to do that.
We do.
But so I lived in Johnston up until my 5th grade year, and then we ended up moving over to Ames. But my dad played at Iowa for a year.
Okay.
Yeah, so he played quarterback at Iowa for a year. He walked on and had some injuries, so he had to just kind of walk away from the game. And so I was always in just the biggest Iowa fan ever. My 5th grade year, I'd go to school every day in an Iowa shirt, and
hell yeah,
I'd grown, 30, 40-year-olds telling me I got a stain on my shirt. You can't be wearing that here, yada, yada, yada. Whatever. So
did that build the rebellion of oh, I'm different.
I'll show them.
Yeah, I'll show them. I mean, you talk about going to bed every night thinking about being an Iowa Hawkeye,
right,
and playing a Jack Trice and just kicking their ass. That was one of my dreams. You know what I'm saying? I'd go to bed thinking about that as a little kid.
Legitimately, you really would.
Oh yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, my dream, my dad's one of my biggest mentors, so
yeah,
I kind of just wanted to be like him.
Sure.
In any facet. So
who is this kid? Oh my God.
Oh, I remember that day. The reporter said, just throw your arm up here. And I was like, I don't know what's going on.
Hey, you're mean mugging though, bro.
I am mean mugging.
Dude,
I probably weighed a $190.
If you're lucky, bro.
If I'm lucky.
Man,
was that my junior year, or what year was that?
This says Joe Evans. Yeah, I'm not sure, but
what's the date on the article?
The junior completed 106 of 100 last season. It was written in August. Yeah, so it was going into your junior year. going into your junior year.
Going into my junior year.
Yep.
Yeah, I $190.
And you were a quarterback.
So I started out my so I played O-line, D-line through my whole career, and then my freshman year I got moved to quarterback and linebacker. My freshman coach said we're just going to play you at quarterback. So,
had you ever thrown the ball?
No, never. Like,
were you guys hurting that bad over at Ames?
I think he was just putting the best athlete out there and saying, like,
which is a good strategy.
Great strategy in high school football.
Yeah.
I don't know why more teams don't do it, but
true.
So I did that, and then my sophomore year got moved up to varsity to play linebacker. And then starting quarterback goes down first game off of the injury so he tore his ACL, but he threw a touchdown and then went and jumped up and celebrated and landed wrong. So that's why I'll never, ever, like, jump up with somebody. That's just scarred in my head. But he was a tremendous quarterback. Then we had our second string guy. He played receiver. He went to play quarterback. Then he goes down. So we're actually playing Iowa City High in the little Cyhawk Trophy game.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just a great little high school trophy. It's sweet. I'm not going to lie.
That's probably one of the better rivalries in the state.
Yeah, I'm really glad they started that my 8th grade year or freshman year, and they made a trophy. Super cool. They wanted to play actually at, like, in Jack Trice or at Kinnick, but they couldn't figure it out logistically.
They eventually figured that out for somebody because I think the Iowa City teams played each other.
Yeah, Liberty played City High.
Yeah.
Over at Kinnick.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then I'm sitting there in, like, linebacker pads, right? And they're like, "Yeah, you're playing quarterback tonight." Second quarter, I didn't know an offensive play.
I was just gonna say, did you know the playbook at all?
I had no idea.
And they just said, "We're giving the ball to Joe, baby.
We're giving the ball to Joe. Let's get after it." First play, I throw, like, a screen pass, and just, I mean, I don't remember. I think I just launched it over his head. I mean, I haven't thrown a ball.
How dumb did you feel?
Freshman year, huh?
How dumb did you feel?
Oh,
just like they put you up on stage naked or something. Like I don't, like, what am I doing here? Everybody in the I can picture it now because I played at Ames twice, maybe, and I was there more for ball boy.
Good old Marshalltown.
Oh yeah, good rival.
You played against my brother.
Really?
No, Teddy Evans. Teddy's my brother. He played defensive end at Ames.
Oh,
but you guys had was that with Gimbal?
Oh yeah.
You guys are state went to the state title game?
Our freshman year we did.
Your freshman year?
So we weren't a huge part of that, but yeah. And then we were okay my junior, senior year. Yeah. Second round of the playoffs, Southeast Polk took us out both years. I think there was some performance enhancement going on.
Some good old farm boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could have been a little.
There could have been some.
Don't want to say anything, but
there was talk of extracurriculars around the conference. But no, Marshalltown Ames, pretty good old time rivalry as well, both basketball and I mean, I don't know where they're at anymore, but used to be when I was when I was coming up.
I never lost to the Bobcats.
I never lost to the Ames Little Cyclones.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We God, who was playing quarterback when I played you guys? Kid was pretty athletic. I can't remember. But two similar towns that were
very similar.
I don't know if people know this. Fun fact: Marshalltown had the choice between the Iowa Veterans Home or Iowa State University, and they chose the Iowa Veterans Home.
Wow.
So Ames got Iowa State. Now, this is the rumor. This is what I heard growing up. This is like Marshalltown lore. That could be completely false. We have a lot of like elder listeners up in their 40s, 50s, 60s. Someone's going to come in and be like, that That's actually not right, Tyler. Like that's completely false.
Yeah.
Ames is always going to be the location, but no, but like Ames and Marshalltown always similarly matched, kind of along with Fort Dodge, Mason City, bunch of misfits, kind of, and there was some good competition there. You played against my brother. We have the connection here is actually crazy because my brother was quarterback for Marshalltown when you guys played him.
Yeah.
Didn't have a lot going for him other than him and one other guy.
No. Yeah, they were pretty bad.
Yeah.
When we played, and they actually had a really good basketball player, Luke Apple.
Yeah, oh yeah, went to
He's over
SDSU.
SDSU, really like that kid. We'd have some battles.
Luke's great. Luke's actually my youngest. So we played against my middle brother and my youngest brother, who, well, you know Zach.
Yeah, Zach was on the team.
Yeah,
Zach played at Centennial.
I forget about that you've been at Iowa for 6 years. So
yeah.
So you know Zach. He went to Centennial, so you probably played against him too. I don't know if you ever played Centennial.
No, I played against Zach. Zach, I mean, they kicked our ass. Let's just be.
Yeah, younger brother's Centennial team had a lot more talent than middle brother's Marshalltown team.
Yes.
We'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that.
They throw it, enough about me. They throw you in at quarterback. It's sophomore year. You throw a screen pass. It looks like you threw it with your opposite hand. And
it was terrible. And so I got lucky enough. So we had like an all-state receiver. And
that helps.
So it definitely helped. So he had these like white gloves, right? And I didn't know, probably for like two weeks, I probably knew like what, 10, 15 plays.
Right.
10 plays maybe. So I would drop back, and if he ever threw his hand up, the ball was coming. I was watching it. I ended up actually having a decent year. I think I threw like 17 touchdowns or something.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, probably 15 of them were to him. He was a stud.
Love it.
So we played Iowa City High. We ended up losing. I didn't really know what I was doing. I just kind of ran around there. And then we ended up going to Marshalltown, at Marshalltown.
And cakewalk, little bye week.
They thought they had us. It was a rainy day. For me, it's the weirdest thing. I love rainy, just shitty grass fields.
Well, Marshalltown is right for you then, buddy.
Marshalltown's perfect for me.
Yeah.
And so Marshalltown and like when we would play at Northwestern.
Oh yeah.
I knew like in
just
my
the
head,
worst field on earth.
It's the psyche. Like I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna have just a career game.
I've never heard anybody say that, but
I love playing there. I know that's just a weird thing in my head that I'm thinking like, all right, well, I'm gonna
Leonard Cole Field at Marshalltown and Ryan Field in Evanston are very similar.
Yeah. Yes, very, very similar. Yeah, it's right about here.
Similar fan attendance too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is that a compliment to Marshalltown or a diss to Northwestern?
It's both.
Okay. We'll say both.
Yeah. So you play quarterback junior year, you go through junior year. At any point, are you like, was there a dream? Was like a legitimate dream? You get into high school, you start to realize where you actually stand talent-wise, right? Like you talk about 5th grade dreaming of playing for the Hawks and going to beat Iowa State in Jack Trice. But at that point, every 5th grade boy who plays a sport thinks they're going pro in that sport.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
At what point do you realize, is it somewhere around that time, freshman, sophomore time, where you're like, I might be able to slip into a Division I football team. Like I might have a shot at playing.
Yeah.
Was it about that time?
It was about that time. Definitely like my sophomore year. I was like all in on gonna go play college football. I wasn't gonna have anybody tell me you're not gonna go do that.
And so did you want to play line? Like I had to imagine you in your head, you're like, I'm a linebacker, D lineman kind of guy.
So my sophomore year, complete thought linebacker. Then I actually started getting some letters, like nothing crazy, but
small interest,
small interest for quarterback. And then like, well, maybe I'll play quarterback. That lasted for like a month, and then I'm playing defense. I don't want to play this. So then then junior year happened, and then senior year, no one has ever done it at Ames, but I was started at quarterback, and then I started at linebacker.
Oh, so you're Joel Lanning.
Yeah, without the state title.
Right. He did do that. Yeah, the year he won that, who'd they kick the year off with? Marshalltown at home, baby.
Marshalltown at home.
They just ran us up and down their field. Wow. So you played both ways.
Yep.
And just dominated.
I had
as much as you could.
As much as I could. Obviously love the boys at Ames, the guys I played with, but
sure.
Just, when you go against Dowling, Ankeny Centennial,
it's tough.
There's really not much you can do.
You hang on for about a quarter if you're playing well.
Yeah.
And then it's just
here we go. Especially like Centennial, they're running the triple option or wing T. You have your assignment. This is a funny story. So my senior year, they scored on a jet sweep 2 years in a row. And me and my dad would talk, and he's like, just whatever you do, tackle the jet sweep guy. That's not my assignment. I had the fullback dive. I tackle the fullback dive. I look up, jet sweep guy, 80-yard tutty.
Dude, you're so much better, and we're always so much better at football than me. But you played middle linebacker, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The parallels in our path is uncanny. Like your dad played football for a very short time at Iowa. You're a middle linebacker, walk on, like all these things, dude. I played middle linebacker, and the first play of that game against Lanning in their state title run year, they run a 12 fake jet sweep option outside. I tackle the guy up the middle, and our sophomore linebacker is just running for his life.
Yep.
Trying to catch the sweep on an 80-yard touchdown, first play of the damn game, dude. I'm telling you, Joe, we're the same person. You just have more hair and way more football talent. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
No, you're good.
What's up, Kevin?
This is Joe.
How you doing, Joe?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
What all have we gotten into so far?
Pretty much just talked about Marshalltown and Ames.
Yep.
Sounds like a pretty shitty podcast. So
yeah, people are we need to pick this thing up 18 minutes in. We're right to the point where Joe's starting to get a little bit of recruitment as a junior, senior.
Yeah. How are we in Iowa City and didn't end up in Ames?
Well, we went over that already.
We're getting there. We're getting there. So I'll just let me speed this up a little bit. So senior year happens. I also was pretty good at basketball, pretty decent. And just couldn't gain any weight while I was in basketball season. So I'm not kidding. After my senior year, after basketball season, 195 tops.
Sheesh.
So when I'm getting recruited, not the best look. It's okay, where's this guy gonna play?
Yeah.
So got recruited by D2s. I thought about going to Iowa Western, and then about that time, I get a text from my coach. We don't have school. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm not nothing." And he's like, "Hey, by the way, Coach Wallace is in here from Iowa, and if you can make it in, that'd be awesome."
If you can make it in,
yeah. So
how quick was your ass out of your seat?
Oh, I know. I remember exactly where I was. I was right by. We have this aquatic center. I remember driving, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll be there in 30 seconds." So I'm flying over there. Probably not the smartest idea. It's probably a snowstorm or whatever. And I just remember sitting there with Wallace. I think Coach Morgan may have been there too. I know he came at a different time, and talked to me. But Wallace was just. What I loved about Wallace, he was just straight up with me, and where he thought I could play, and this is how it's going to be. We want you as a walk-on. Now, did I know I wasn't going to go in as I guess I'm technically just a walk-on because I didn't go in the summer. I don't on the school start. I didn't even get.
Same, brother.
Yeah. So I thought I was going to go in the summer with everyone else, which kind of sucked. But he was straight up with me, and I love that. And I was already just a diehard Iowa fan, so anything he was saying just was music to my ears.
So you didn't go to camp your first year in, huh?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
Damn.
So not
That's
saying I went to camp,
Oh, yeah. Didn't even get the invite to camp.
bro.
I would say that's it's not the worst thing in the world.
You're right. Kev,
Missing your freshman camp's not the worst thing in the world, but that is
Yeah,
that does make your career trajectory even that much more impressive.
Yeah, I mean, going through 5 camps, I don't know if I needed a 6th one, but so he came in and talked to me. This is where it gets interesting. Then I'm sitting in German class, and I get a text from my head coach, and hey, Coach Campbell's in here. I was like, all right, sweet.
of course he is.
Yeah. So I get up and I go to my like in the middle of class. I don't know. I'm not just gonna get up and walk out. So I like kind of go over to him. Hey, Coach Campbell's in here. And my teacher was a huge Iowa State fan. She's like, get out here and don't come back. Like I don't even want to see you the rest of the day. All right, sweet. So I go down and I'm having this conversation, and this just boils my blood even to this day. But so I'm sitting there and he's looking at me, preaching, well, if you come here, we would offer you, but we don't have any more scholarships, yada yada yada.
They never do.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, sure. I mean, they offered what, like 500 dudes. They couldn't have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, couldn't make it 501. Like, goddamn.
Yeah, I mean, you guys couldn't have helped me out a little bit. And he's like, well, if you come here, you're going to be a part of the 105. You'll be here during the summer. Okay. And at that point, I thought I was going in the summer to Iowa, but it just didn't work out. And then he said, I know your dream has always been to run out in the Cardinal and gold.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I looked at my coach and I'm like, no way he just said that. So that's always stuck with me.
He put the words in your mouth.
Yeah, and
your coach
and you were
you were an Iowa fan?
Oh, everyone knew. Everyone knew. I probably had to like throw a hoodie on. I was probably wearing something Iowa that day. And yeah, I was just like, what? Like these guys don't know anything about me.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, whatever. Like kind of just like went over. I went up straight to my dad was my principal. I went up to his office. I'm like,
don't say that went over your head because it's
no.
It's 7 years later now, and you're burning on.
And you're right. But at the time, because I was still given, a fair shot. But then I'll get into this other part too. So I go up to my dad. I'm like, Dad, you're not going to believe what Coach Campbell just told me. He's like, what? He's like, my dream's always been around Cardinal goal. And my dad just starts like dying laughing. He's like, it's fuck. He's like, fuck that. He's like, your dream's always been around the fucking black and gold, and swore him out. And I'm like, you're goddamn right, whatever. So then I forgot who it was, but another coach comes in on the defense.
Iowa State coach.
Another Iowa State coach comes in on the defensive staff. He's talking, I think 2 days later, he's talking to my head coach, and he goes, my mom works in student services. She's right here. And my dad works in his office, probably about 50 feet away from each other. So my whole family was there, which was awesome. Very lucky. And I go in student services, and my coach is like, oh, he's actually right here. I just texted him. I'm like, oh, what's up, coach? He's like, yeah. So, what's his family do? Like, what do they do? And my mom is literally like sitting right here. And my coach just like looked at him and was like, well, his mom's right here. And his dad's around the corner. And the coach like, well, you couldn't have gave me a heads up. And he's like, oh yeah, so it's my fault. Like, I was at that point, I'm like, I'm so fed up.
Dude.
I'm literally in your backyard and you guys you didn't know a thing about me.
So it's funny because I get the feeling, and it feels like this has happened a lot with the way timing goes in guys' recruitments, whether it be a kid who eventually commits to Iowa or Iowa State. One offers or one comes by the school and says, hey, you're just looking for the creak in the door, right? I know that's how you felt. You're like, any way I can get my foot in the door at Iowa and I'll go make it work.
Yeah.
And then the other one comes crawling in. Like these schools, they know. They talk to, like they hear rumors. They know who's offered who or who's been by what school. And it feels like Iowa State did something similar-ish to me as well. Not that, and they didn't want me. Iowa didn't want me. So it's just funny how like sometimes they'll like go and talk to a kid just because they don't want the other school to get them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy.
For me, I always told my family this, like, obviously I wanted to be an Iowa Hawkeye for my whole life. But if any Division I program would have offered me a scholarship, I was going.
Yep.
Just so I could help my family out.
100%.
But if the playing field was level for everybody, I was going to be an Iowa Hawkeye.
Yeah.
And that's
awesome.
Yeah.
So you get your foot in the door. You don't, not in the summer door, not in the camp door. You walk in first day of school. What's the trajectory? What are we feeling like? You feel out of place? You feel like maybe you can compete here? What's the mindset like?
Yeah. I try to like hide this from my mom, especially because, dropping her baby boy off at college and, the first 2-3 months, it kind of sucked. It wasn't fun, to be honest, because everyone at that point has their friend group. You went through the whole summer together, you went through camp together, and then I just show up.
You were an outcast, an outsider.
I'm an outcast. People are like, he's not on the football team. Like, like I am.
I promise, dude.
Defend myself. I'm
dude. My card works at the facility. I'll show you.
I'll literally show you my locker. It's right there. But yeah,
who was your roommate freshman year?
Oh, he's one of my best friends, Nate Nelson.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Antoine's brother.
Yep. He's one of my best friends. So he actually did make it a lot easier for me, and I really thank him for that. And Nate, John Wagner, he's one of my really close, like one of my best friends. And so me, Nate, John Wagner, and Mitch Riggs, we ran around together. But just that, like, being in the facility, not knowing I didn't know anything. We had 3 days of conditioning. You run 60s, 55s. And then they just throw you out to practice, and you have your pads on, and I'm running around. I don't even know where I'm going.
I remember that.
I don't even know where I'm going.
Yeah, it's like the first practice, you're just expected to like go where you're supposed to go, and you're just like, what's going on here?
And it's crazy because this is something I was so bad at. And if there's any kids listening to this in high school, like little kids that grew up loving Joe Evans and Joe is your hero, and you're like, I want to play. And if you ever get to the next level, dude, just ask questions. Yes. Just ask questions.
You're going to annoy someone, but you're at least not going to look like an idiot.
Because if you don't ask questions and you just assume that you're supposed to be somewhere, man, do you look stupid when you end up inevitably not in the place you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So you're like chicken with your head cut off. Like, oh my God, where are the D linemen?
No, well, I was a linebacker.
You were a linebacker.
I was a linebacker at that point. Yeah. So I go over to Wallace's station and or Wallace's individual, and Wallace is just chirping me. Like he's saying something. I won't really get into it, but I love how Wallace coached me. That's one of my favorite coaches of all time. He knew like how to coach me, and he was like hard on me in some ways, and then would show me love when I needed it. but he
Big
was hilarious.
Wallace fans here around the Walk On podcast.
Oh, love that dude. I was so happy
Get
for
your
him.
pants down.
So I'm doing Indy, and I just remember what he was saying, and it was just like, well, this is it. Like, welcome to college football. I was just gonna take. I mean, obviously, I'm a walk on. I'm taking everything. Whatever you say to me, I'll just keep my head straight and just keep going, keep pushing.
Who are the seniors in the linebacking group at this point? That first year, was this 2018?
Hawkeye, I
Would have
think.
been Hawkeye. Would have been the senior guy in the room.
Who's playing? Who's the starters? And was this 18, Joe?
It was 18, so it was Hawkeye, and I think it would have been Neiman.
Yeah.
I think Nick Neiman.
He would have been playing the Leo. Who would have been playing the Will that year?
Gosh, I don't know.
Was Amani Jones?
Well, he started out at linebacker.
Was it men's?
It may have been men's.
I thought he was hurt that year.
No, he may have been. Shoot.
So those are the guys in the room. You got
Garbett. No, not Garbett. Oh shoot, no, it was
Kevin just going back through all the linebackers in the brain.
I know exactly who it is. I just can't think of his name right now.
So first Indy, like what?
Jaimin Colbert.
Jaimin.
Got it.
You getting popped? You catching up to speed? How fast do you feel comfortable? How many practices until you're like, okay,
I didn't feel like I belonged until bowl prep.
Wow, really?
So I felt like I was like, well, I just got to develop. I'm like, I got to get in the weight room. I got to develop.
I feel like that's a pretty common thing for walk-ons is like you didn't get a scholarship, especially in your case, like you didn't get an invite to camp year one. It's like you're just spending that first few months is like, do I belong here? Like, can I even like make it here? And I think every walk-on has a different kind of time when they feel like they have the ability to do well there, right?
Yeah.
And I think for me, I got injured my freshman year, so it wasn't even until like the following year. But I think that's a different time for everyone, and yeah, it's hard, especially that freshman year when you're just doing scout team and you don't even know if some of the coaches know your name or anything like that. It's
Kevin brings up a good point. Joe, in your head, was there how did you view your potential career? Like, did you think this is going to work out for me? I'm playing this thing out, or was it up in the air in your brain? Obviously looking back now, you're like, oh my God, it couldn't have gone better.
Well, I was going to play it out as long as I could. I did know that if I didn't get invited to the summer for my sophomore year, the following year, that I was going to transfer to like Iowa Western.
Sure.
That was my plan. Just like, well, maybe I got to just go do it that way because I had a whole year with them and they still don't think that I'm ready to play at Iowa. Yeah. And I wasn't going to be upset at all. That was their, way of telling me that they don't think I'm ready. So I was going to go to Iowa Western. So I just, for me, I knew in bowl prep, I had a really good practice at linebacker. I didn't know anything.
What do you weigh at this point?
What do I weigh?
At first bowl prep?
225, 230.
Okay. So not bad.
So you put on some good weight pretty quick, huh?
Yeah. I had a trainer going into Iowa that was really good. He played at Iowa State. He was able to put some good weight on me. So I went into Iowa. I think I weighed in at like 215, 220.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So bowl prep, I just remember walking off the field and Coach Morgan was like, who's that number 13? Because he was everywhere on the field today in Devo. And I don't think I was behind him and he was asking some like the freshman D lineman. So when I heard that, I was in my head was thinking, okay, I can do this. And So then I was just gonna
sometimes that's all it takes. It's just a tiny little bit of encouragement.
Just a tiny little bit of encouragement. So my head, I was going to grind, and then spring ball hit. I was getting reps here and there. The first 2 practice at like Mike and Will, like with the freshmen. And then I had the Coach Wallace goes up on the board. He writes down the defensive ends we have. He asked who's playing defensive end in spring ball. So we say like, okay, AJ, Chauncey. And then we're like, we had 3 at that time, John Wagner, and then it was it. We had like no one at the end. Then he looks at us and says, like, what do you think that means? And then Nick goes, probably someone in here is going to have to go play. So
I can see Nick saying that too.
Yeah. Probably someone in here's got to go play. Walls, you're goddamn right. So at the end of the meeting, he goes, all right, so I need to see Nick, B. Wade, Welch, someone else. And he's like, and like, fuck it. Evans, you stay in here too. And when I heard that, like, I was so pumped up. I was so amped up because I just needed a chance. I just needed a shot. You thought I could play this position. That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah.
So kind of spring ball, just tore it up at defensive end, played.
How was blocks that spring ball?
Huh?
How was blocks that spring ball? Because what are you at this point? 230 maybe?
I don't think we did blocks that spring ball because we didn't have anybody. If I remember correctly. I don't remember doing block, or I think I was still doing some linebacker. I don't know what the hell I was doing. I just remember not doing blocks until the next year.
Okay.
And then they moved me over to heavy 5 too, because I was only playing crash end.
Mm-hmm.
And crash ends, you got one gap. It's awesome. It makes it
a lot easier.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, this defensive end stuff is so sweet. And then they threw me at heavy 5. And
when you don't never have to 2 gap a dude who's 330, it makes life a lot easier.
Like, this is sweet. So just kind of, just killed it there. And then
who was the welcome to the Big Ten moment where you were like,
oh, I got a couple. I'll give my Iowa practice, and then I'll do my game. So Iowa practice, so Werfs, Bayer, actually my first practice, I didn't know the tempo. I had no idea what was going on. So I'm over there playing, it would have been like a Leo backer, like on the line trying to play someone's defense. And Bayer just buries me, just puts me on my ass. And I'm, dude, I thought this was a walkthrough. And he's like, basically, there's no walkthroughs here. And I'm like, all right, sweet, right? So just put me on my ass. And then one time they had me man cover TJ Hawkinson.
Done. Fuck.
Done. I held him, so I was just just had his jersey and was just like holding him, and he was trying to run away from me, and he's like, dude, he was laughing. He's like, just don't ever do that again.
Who said that? They had the same story. Who do we have on that was like, dude, don't do that again? I can't remember.
Was it TJ? I think it was.
No, because we haven't had TJ on.
No, but it was TJ who they're holding too, right?
Yeah, and I'm trying to think of who was it. There was a defender who had the same story. I can't remember, but they had the exact same
the worst part about that is
it was Jack Campbell.
Probably, yeah.
It probably, yeah, it was.
The worst part about that is I knew the route he was running.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they got him on the cards. Yeah.
I couldn't do anything about it.
No.
So him, and then Werfs, so when I was playing defensive end, just my second year I was a rush end, or just on pass rush situations. I hit him with a clean move, and I hit him, and I'm like going around the edge. Mid-set, he's talking to me. That's a hell of a move as he resets me. And I got to get out of here.
Did Campbell tell us that too? I feel like am I deja vu right now? I think Tristan did that to multiple people.
Probably.
It's just fucking casual for him.
Dude, he was so casual. He's like, dude,
So here's a little secret, Joe. Here's something that'll make you feel a little better. A couple weeks ago, I can't remember if it was Ike or Drake. Tristan told both of them this. He said that the NFL, playing tackle in the NFL, was surprisingly easy.
Yeah, okay, that does make me feel better.
Thing to say to us mere mortals.
So you just weren't going to win that one, you know?
No, I beat him. I beat him on 1 rep in my whole career.
Did you dance in his face?
No, I called home right away. I was like a little kid. I don't know if I've ever told anyone that.
Dad,
you're not gonna believe I just beat Wirfs. And it was literally he punched and I just went under his arms. Like, hey, a win's a win.
Clean.
A win is a win.
That's an all-pro tackle right there.
Yeah. But
that's tough to have to go up against him. This is really not great.
No, and then my kind of welcome to, the old Big Ten moment. The first game I get in, so I'm running out against Purdue. I get out there, the whole offensive line or this guard and center look at me and go, they start laughing, go, oh, look, they fucking put the walk-on in.
No.
Swear to God.
Dude, that hurts so bad.
Oh, it hurt. It hurt. I didn't even know what to say. I couldn't say anything.
Dude, if it were me, I would have been like, yeah, I don't know. They threw me out.
I know.
That's for the fans out there is they do like player profiles on your whoever you're going against that week. So
you guys know you.
Those guys on that offensive line actually knew that he was a walk-on. It's not like they were just making fun of him or anything like that.
Yeah. Oh, they put the freaking walk-on in, dude. You suck. And I'm like, oh man. I mean, obviously if they would have said that like a year I was actually producing, I could have, you could have
come back with a little something, but you were like,
come back. I can't say anything. It's my first game.
In your head, you're like, yeah, this could be disastrous. Like this could be bad.
Yeah, this could be bad. I'm shaking. I feel like I'm in a.
Did you hold your own a little bit?
I actually had a really good game.
Okay, there you go.
Coach Ferentz talked about me in the press conference after.
Love it.
Like he was, in the backfield. And
I got that once. You want to hear the clip?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Catch the ball. Quite frankly, I was more worried about the throw than the catch. I felt pretty good about Kluver. He's a senior, and everybody wanted to kill Kluver his first year when he was on campus. Now everybody loves him, so he's really growing over 5 years' time.
This was a tough.
That's the only time Coach Ferentz ever talked about me in the postgame press conference.
Hey, we'll take it. You know what I'm saying? At least it was one time.
You're right.
But dude, no, seriously, getting meaningful playing time as a second year as a walk-on is crazy. Really impressive and really rare. I think
on defense.
Yeah,
on special teams.
No. On one side of the ball or the other is wicked impressive, man.
Crazy.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I think some of it obviously had to do with a little bit of luck, but every single day I was at the facility, I was just working my ass off, and I know that's what they were seeing, on the field, in the weight room, just how I carried myself. I was never late to anything. I was never on a list. My grades were somewhat decent, so
it's good.
Yeah,
you're a guy that's easy to bet on, basically.
Yeah,
someone that's not gonna keep you up at night. He's like,
trustworthy.
I'm gonna fuck me over if I put him in
absolutely.
The game.
And with Coach Parker, a huge thing is trust.
Right.
Like, can I trust that guy?
Mm-hmm.
Which I do. Coach Parker's my first Coach Parker ass chewing. I think everyone's had that moment. And so we were running a pressure. And in this certain pressure, I have the running back out of the backfield, on appeal.
Mm-hmm.
And the running back does a fake block.
Oh, no.
Throw it right over my head. Touchdown.
Is this a game or is this practice?
This is practice. Thank God.
Oh, thank God.
But it's still. He came and found me, and I was just beginning to trust you. You know? And I'm like, God dang it.
Did he hit you with the, it's not your fault, Joe. It's my fault for having you on the
He probably did, but I mean, it's
like
for me, it's like I love being coached like that, and they knew that.
Yeah.
Like maybe you coach guys differently, but like I love that shit. Like just get after me if I'm doing something stupid. And honestly, it made me a better player, and I never messed up that play ever again.
ever.
I bet you didn't. Yeah.
And every single time I had that in my head, like, Coach, I'm not gonna mess this up for Coach Parker.
Yeah. And I think he knows guys who know like when they fucked up and like fucked up big time. It's like,
yeah,
I feel like he gets after them a little bit more, just to kind of maybe fire them up a little bit. And he's like, do you know what the fuck peel means? And then you tell me what it means. It's like,
yeah.
Well, then why the fuck didn't you peel?
Your face, Kevin. Joe's probably got PTSD because you've got his face down.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So they move you to D-line.
Mhm.
You catch a little success on D-line. Now you're second year. Gosh, this is 2019.
Yeah, we got a lot of years to cover.
Bro,
here.
how are you this old?
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
Because you redshirted 18. You redshirted 18 and got a COVID year, so that's how.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm like old for my grade too. I'm 24, so I played the whole season at 24.
You're going on 25.
I'm going on 25.
So you're damn near where Tori's at.
Yeah. Me, Tori, Nico. I mean, and now we got a bunch of 6 years coming back.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be exciting.
Oh, I can't wait.
I got a quick question before we get back into it. What's college like at 24? I mean, is it a little bit weird or
yes.
Okay.
It's you realize and I'm not saying the guys in the locker room, but like you realize like the maturity level.
Mm-hmm.
And it's tough. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain things like it is kind of tough.
You're about 3 years away from looking at college age kids and going, God, they look young.
Not only that, it's like, what the fuck are these asshole kids doing?
Yeah.
It comes up real quick, man.
Well, even like I'm sitting there, I'm 24, I'm trying to relate to an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
You know, trying to it's different.
Just please tell me just please tell me that no one ever started doing like TikTok dances in the locker room.
Nico had so many.
Yeah, Nico had some.
And he's 24.
Don't worry,
he's a dancing guy though.
Yeah.
I see Joe as the kind of guy who walks into the locker room. He's like, all these kids and their TikToks. Tic-tac videos.
Just grimacing.
Joe has a cane. He's walking into the training room with a cane to get treatment because his 24-year-old body hurts so bad. Oh,
you guys can't even. I was in that treatment room every day.
Were you
like in every other day practice guy?
Mandatory hot tub before every lift in practice.
Yep. Mandatory hot tub. I started cold tubbing too, which helped.
You're gonna miss those, by the way. Assuming that. I mean, yeah. I guess we didn't even ask. Are you sending to the NFL here? Are we going to play 10 years in the league?
Well, I hope so.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Okay.
I'm training in Iowa City right now, so I'm training here, and then I'll do some speed work in Chicago. But no, that's the plan right now.
Okay, I was going to say you're going to miss the hot and cold tubs, but there's potential.
I'm still in there around. We work out at 11, so every day at 10:15, I'm in that. I'm in those bad boys.
Oh yeah.
I assume you're done with school, right? So you're just working out a couple hours a day.
Working out a couple hours a day. I've been hitting hot yoga.
Welcome to the best 3 months of your life.
You're living the dream, brother.
Don't get better than this.
Hey, when you're 29 and you have a podcast, you're gonna be looking back, going, "God, I just missed those 3 months." It's the best 3. So now think about your time right now, and you might not be a Fortnite guy, but to pick your favorite video game ever and then find its peak.
Yeah.
The peak of Fortnite was our
3 months.
Was our 3 months.
Dude,
so we would wake up late, 9 o'clock, go in, hit that prep workout, go home, eat lunch, play Fortnite for 9 hours, go to sleep.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's unreal. It's I mean, it's a great time. I still my best friend is Cade McNamara, so we kind of just
we had somebody ask about that. We've got a little,
like you guys became best
really?
friends real quick, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard the story, but I was not a big fan of him at first. Well,
Pretty boy.
So what?
Pretty boy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna just be completely upfront.
Please do.
So we have this. God, what was it? So we meet in the north end zone, and we have God, what would they call that? I can't even think of the freaking word right now.
Was it the alumni networking event?
Yeah, a little network. Thank you.
Yeah.
A networking event. And so we're there, and then so Cade's on his like official visit. Him, Eric, all were in there, and they're getting food. Like that's where they were getting food that night. And I go up and like introduce myself to Eric, all just love the dude. And at that point, I don't know if I'm coming back for a 6 year or not. And so I go up and talk to Cade, and I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, and he just did not seem interested in anything I had to say. And I think knowing his personality now, I think he wasn't meaning to do that like at all. But in my head, I was like, dude,
it felt like he was brushing you off.
Yeah. I was like, dude, fuck. I'm like, I hate this dude, honestly. I was like, fuck this dude. And so after that, this is exactly, I go to Coach Braithwaite. Coach Braithwaite is the man. I can talk to him about everything. That's like the guy that if I got some shit going on, I'm going to his office and we're going to have a sit down talk. And so I'm talking to him like, dude, I don't know if I want to come back. I was like, I'm still thinking about it. Like, dude, I don't know if I can play with him. Right. This guy, yada, 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 whatever. And Coach Braithwaite's like, just give it some time. Like, just maybe hang out with him like another couple times, whatever. So I decided to come back. Cade sends me a text when I like made the post, and he was like, dude, let's go. And I remember looking at the text. I was like, oh, this, like, I gotta, like, just fuck this dude, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, dude, whatever. I'm still like pissed at him. And so then we, like a week or 2 weeks later, we hang out with the boys, and Cade's there. And in my head, okay, he's my quarterback. I'm gonna do my best to be like boys with him, or just, be cordial at least.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see where it goes. And it probably doesn't help that I had the old like 42-3 taste in my mouth still.
Sure.
He beat us, and it's just like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, and so we're hanging out, and we actually connected on like so many levels. We had a player-led meeting. Like everything he was saying, like I agreed with, and just was able to see where his values were and like where he wanted the team to be. And I'll say, like, he is one of the best leaders I've ever been around.
That's awesome.
Like, the dude is like, he is the man. He is extremely talented, but like even a better leader. And so those, like, a month goes by and we're doing like everything together. Like, we're fucking getting lunch. Like, we're doing, if you see Cade, you see me, you see me, you see Cade, right? And then Coach Braithwaite pulls me aside. He goes, so you and Cade are boys now, huh? Like, yeah, we're kind of just do everything together. So then we ended up getting a little townhouse together, and just been kicking it ever since.
It's a love story.
Love story, huh?
Little bromance going.
Crazy.
Oh man.
He took you out to California.
Yeah, as a strength coach.
You were the strength coach.
Head strength coach.
Wow,
Head
what a
strength
title.
coach.
Love that.
What a title. Got the boys going. It was actually sweet because, I mean, another thing he did, I mean, he paid for like the Airbnbs and took the receivers out, tight ends. Dude, the dude's a phenomenal dude. I'm really excited to see what he's going to do this year.
And NIL money must be nice, huh?
I guess that's another thing we can get into, man, because you've been in football pre and post NIL. How has it changed the sport in your opinion?
I'm a little worried, to be honest.
Elaborate.
What I'm worried about is like these bigger schools obviously are just going to be able to recruit 10 times better because they have more money.
Sure.
I'm all for the power to the college athlete. And I do think that college athletes do need to be paid because they're making a ton of money. I mean, everyone's paying to go watch, us play. But I am a little worried just about the whole recruiting aspect.
No, that's fair. Did it change the makeup of the locker room at all, in your opinion, or did
guys at Iowa are really good about? No one like says how much money they're making.
Okay.
And it's always been. That's why, I mean, you've been in everyone here has been in the Iowa locker room, but like you guys know how like team first and how KF leads a team, and that's how it's been.
Whoa there, Joe. Hey, whoa there. You're gonna start telling some fans some things that I've tried to tell them, and then he's
oh my gosh.
But
Dude,
we don't know about the coaching staff. Worried about KF, and he still have his fastball. And I tried to tell him, be careful what you wish for. Careful what you wish for with KF, because he knows how to put.
If KF literally looked at a goddamn brick wall and said, "Run through it," I'm trying a million times. Like I would do anything for that guy, and
but that's important, right? That's important because there could be locker rooms across the country where you've got a brand new head coach or the culture isn't established and the NIL factor could leak in. You could have
a bunch of guys that got brought there for money, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I think the guys in the locker room do a great job, especially so like we got transfers in and the guys that were already there did a great job of, getting the boys. Like we had a player-led meeting. Just everyone knows what the goal is, and no one ever talks about like NIL or how much money you're making. All we want to do is like win games. Like that is our only goal, is to win football games. And how are we going to do that? Like who gives a fuck about how much money someone's making?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially when your boys flying out everyone to fucking Cali and having a good ass time, right?
Yeah, I know. Like if you're spent, like he chose to spend like his money that way, which is phenomenal. Like, and there's a lot of guys who do that.
Yeah, no, that's
like we would have like Hawkeye championship, and now you're able to have guys over, have grill outs, go take them to me and Coop took all the boys to like a playoff high school game. It was fun, like a basketball game.
Yeah.
And like we were able to afford that because of the swarm and money that we were getting.
Yeah.
But guys are using it in like valuable ways. And obviously it's just I could see though on like some teams where some of the players could get money hungry, but that's not the case at Iowa at all.
That's awesome to know.
Yeah.
We've got some rapid fire on the end here that I've got from our listeners, but I still want to dig in a little bit more here.
I got nowhere to be. I know you guys might, but
I've got here's what you're looking forward to. And
I don't know if I can see that.
That's baby girl.
Oh, wow. How about that, huh?
Yeah. Huh. So just, 6 years, little Joe Evans running around. trying to, swim underneath the move. Like Kevin said, your 6 years literally spanned from right now all the way up to when we left. And Kevin and I feel like from the year we left till now is it looks and feels from the outside vastly different. And obviously for you, it changed very slowly. A couple of those big changes or big things that happened were the whole Coach Doyle situation and COVID all in the same year.
Yeah.
Talk about that from the inside and how that just throws wrenches into the thing. And how did you evolve as a player and sort of right in the middle of your career? Yeah. 18, 19. Yeah. So you were probably, you had gotten some time on the field. So you as an individual probably were starting to feel more like a leader on the team. How did that evolve you and the team through some pretty serious
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've had some very, through my 6 years, we've had some very serious things happen. And even like you want to talk about the Coach Doyle situation, COVID, even playing up to this year when Brian got let go midway through the season, and how we were going to, battle through those things as a team. I think it just kind of it all goes back to the leadership ability of Coach Ferentz and how he was able to lead everybody. And like those first two instances, I think we'd all all three, we came together as a team, which was from my standpoint, it was very powerful, and just came together. We had, talks, some would say some uncomfortable talks, and, talks that we needed to have. So in all three cases. So I think from my standpoint, I was able to grow a lot from all those, and just being able to see how going through like adversity, and like being a walk-on, you're battling adversity all the time, but going through adversity like that with your teammates just kind of makes you stronger as a whole. And like my last year here, I felt like the team, and every year, and I just felt like it kept growing and growing, and how close we were together. I really believe that, like, we were insanely close this last year.
It was apparent from the outside, from the results that you were able to, as a team, continue to put out through the stuff you were going through.
And just everyone's comments in the media team too seemed like everyone is like a tight knit group, and everyone's going to bat for each other. What do you think the reason was for that? Like, why was this 2023 team so much closer than the other ones that you were a part of?
I think, at first it started out with just, I really like how, like early in the year we had a player-led meeting. So we kind of had like all of our goals and where we wanted to be. I think it kind of starts from the top with, obviously Coach Ferentz and the coaches. And then a lot of it does have to do with the guys in the locker room. And when you all are just fighting for like that one goal, and that one goal is to, win football games at any price. It's pretty powerful. I think we did a lot more like things together as a team, like outside of football, that made us a lot closer. Whether that, Hawkeye championship, just getting together, going for a grill out, just doing things together that made us closer. And then, talking about this year, battling through adversity together. When you battle through something together as a team, and everyone has each other's back, that's a tough team to beat.
How loud was the outside noise this year? Loud?
Yeah. I'm
there's a smile. I feel it. I don't want to say anything. I don't say anything that you don't want to. But
no, I know. I'm gonna be it.
But I mean, let's be honest. Like the Coach Brian stuff was looming heavy, and
Yeah,
even
I
I
just
mean,
think
you know,
it fired me up. It really pissed me off, and so I was I was fortunate enough to be voted the team captain by the guys, and
huge.
led the pregame talks, and
Love those
you know,
videos, by the way. Just got me going on Saturday.
I was in the middle of those talks. Was very fortunate enough to be voted the Iron Hawk, and just I had a voice in that locker room, and the whole Brian stuff. Why I say that, it really just fired me up. I From my standpoint, it felt like they just gave up on us. When you fire a coach midway through the season, um,
Mm.
I really
Ooh,
felt that's how it felt to us. Is like, you guys just gave up on us. We're 6-2 right now, and we still have a shot at winning the Big Ten West championship. And all credit to Brian. You didn't even in the facility. You wouldn't have even known he got fired. He came and worked his ass off every single day for us, and we kind of just, as a team, had that chip on our shoulder. Like, all right, you know what? We're gonna prove everybody wrong. We're gonna go win these last 4 games, and we're gonna see you guys in Indy.
Kev, that hurt me a little bit when he said that.
Feels like they gave up on us, man. That's
Some fans aren't going to want to hear that one because they
no,
were real.
no, they are not. But I mean, I totally relate. I mean, if I were in your shoes, I mean, shit, we caught a bunch of heat for not liking the way it went down and voicing that publicly. But yeah, if I was in your shoes, I'd be very much fuck everyone else mode. And speaking of which,
Maybe a little Leofy, huh? Love everyone.
we
Fuck everyone else.
speculated what the acronym stood for. You don't have to confirm nor deny that if you don't want to.
There was a clear Michigan used us against the world, like Michigan against the world this year. There's a little bit of that inside the Iowa locker room this year too, huh?
Yeah, we were just playing for everybody in that locker. Like it.
Yeah.
That's why it was so, like, such a close knit group.
The wins looked awesome. Like every time they posted like the post game locker room after wins, it looked like y'all were just super excited for each
we
other.
didn't like it wasn't the prettiest. When is an Iowa game in like a pretty win? You know what I'm saying? It's just
Rare.
a hard fought, just let's get after it. And a win is a win. And and sometimes I think fans kind of lose sight of that. I mean, we're a 10-win team at the end of the year, and a lot of teams would like to be in our shoes. And obviously, like, our goal is always to win a national championship, win the Big Ten, win a national championship. And I'm not saying I'm sitting here settling for 10-2, because I'm pissed about that. I wish we could have won 12 games, but yeah, I mean, in our locker room, it was, we're going to be playing for each other, and I think you were able to see that in every single game we played. Like, just a love for each other, and just literally doing anything and everything to win games.
I'm still floored for the simple answer that Joe gave on that has me shook right now. I'm a little hurt. I'm hurt, and I'm feeling my former player self, and I'm very curious to see the reactions we get from some of the listeners on this, because that is raw, and that's good shit, Joe. Like that you summarized it in the most easy, simple way possible. Cav, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, as an alum, man, it feels good to know that the culture of the locker room and like the guys are in a good place together. And I say this pretty much to every guest that comes on from after our playing days and has something to say similar to you. But because that program did so much for me. I know it did so much for Kluve, but to know that it's still doing so much for the guys that are coming after us just makes you feel good, man. I'm sure you'll feel the same way in a few years once your time is up in the facility. But I appreciate you for everything that you've done to keep moving the Jersey to a better place.
Big time.
I appreciate that, guys. Yeah, I mean that was a big thing for me is, leaving my Jersey in a better place than it was, and I felt like at the end of my career here, I was able to do that. So, yeah, I appreciate that. That means a lot to me.
Gonna hit. We've got some of these questions. I know a lot of them we've already hit a little bit, but we would be be a horrible podcast, horrible host if we didn't ask one of the biggest questions, which is, what did it feel like to go back to Ames and play in Jack Trice? Live out that dream you talked about as a fifth grader.
Dude, that game, both times we went. So when we went and played, and it was 9-10 on College game day, and really just went out there and just kicked their ass.
Oh yeah,
that was just a phenomenal feeling. I loved being like the villain. So when I walked out to Jack Trice, it would have been my redshirt junior year.
Yeah.
And I'm walking out, and I told myself, I'm not going to look at anybody, okay? I'm just going to keep my, head straight. I'm going to walk on the field. I know they're going to be talking a lot of shit, of course, to me, because I'm from Ames. And so I hear like 3, 2, 1, Joe. And I'm like, all right, these are definitely like my boys from Ames, like from Ames High School.
Were all your high school friends all like Iowa State friends?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so like my super close buddies actually ended up turning into Iowa fans because they just were rooting for me. But so I thought these were my high school buddies. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna turn around. I'm gonna give them, I'll look at them, give them a little wave. Never have seen these guys in my life. And I'm sorry, I've said a couple F-bombs on here, but this is what they said. Joe, I looked, they're like, fuck you. And I was
how much electricity is in the veins at that point though?
Oh, I mean,
juiced.
I knew I just amped up.
Oh,
I haven't
love
had it.
that.
I mean, I love that stuff. I love when opposing fans are, talking smack. It just it's the competitor in you, right? It just fires you up. And when I played at Jack Trice, I never ever felt like I was tired out there. Like ever. Because I always felt like there was, I don't know how many fans are in Jack Trice, let's say 60,000. But like 60,000 people just wanted to see me do shitty.
You were just full gas tank. Never.
I was full gas tank. And so the first game I sacked Purdy, and I ended up having a big tip, which I'm still upset to this day. I had the tip. I think Hankins picked it, and I'm running down, and I could have thrown like a last block at Brock Purdy, which still haunts me to this day because I think Hankins may have been able to sneak in there. But then when we played them this year, that was another reason. I'll be honest with you guys, is the reason why I came back. Is
another
we did
opportunity
lose Iowa
for
State.
Jack Trice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm not going out.
That'd be a hard one to swallow, man. We were down 14 in the fourth quarter our senior year, and I'm like, we are going to be the class to lose the Cyhawk because I think we had like a four in a row win streak at that point.
Shit,
maybe
no.
It's three.
They beat us in 14, so we had won 15-16.
Yeah, okay. But I was like, there can be no worse feeling than losing to Iowa State your senior year.
No, and so that was a reason. I sat with my parents and would have these talks on whether I'd come back or not. And I don't know. I think either it was me or my dad brought that up. And he's like, well, you don't want to go out losing to Iowa State, do you? And I'm like, well played. Well played. Well played. And
Okay, if the
being
next
able to come and play, at Jack Trice my last year and go out being a captain. It was a really cool moment. The guys did this for me a couple times actually. Well, they let me go get the trophy myself. There's a super cool picture.
I remember that. Yeah.
So we swarmed over there and like, Joe, go get the trophy. And that's a moment I'll never forget. They also waited for me for like the Big Ten West trophy and waited for me to go grab the trophy there. And just moments like that are the reason why I came back for my 6th year is just moments with those boys that, I'll never forget. And, them voting me as a captain and as one of their leaders is just, yeah, that was the best feeling ever. But going into Jack Trice, getting that win, I'll be able to talk shit the rest of my life.
quick side note, is Brock Purdy overrated?
Brock Purdy's a really good dude. I don't think he's overrated. I'm happy for him. Yeah, I'm not sure who I'm cheering for in the Super Bowl. I was really hoping it was going to be the Lions Ravens, to be honest.
Okay.
So obviously with Laporta, Campbell,
The Junior Hawks over there in Detroit. Yep.
good old Lindy. Lindy was my lifting partner for 2 years. So
Nice.
and I never got to play with Kittle. So, but an Iowa guy. So I'll be cheering for the 49ers just for Kittle.
The very own Brady Ross wants to know where the wooden lion ended up. Who has it?
Oh yeah. The heart of the lion.
The what?
You don't know what we're talking about. So maybe it's over.
No.
Maybe the tradition is lost.
Oh no. Did Brady have it at one point?
Brady said, "Who ended up with the wooden lion? COVID shut everything down, and I never re-entered the building. Never had a chance to pass it on."
So it was Brady's in 2020.
So Brady
and he
had it in
didn't pass
2020,
on.
and he never went in.
Oh, that son of a bitch.
So somewhere
That's like a 15-year tradition right there.
So the tradition has been in purgatory.
What's the wooden lion?
Okay,
Oh
so
my god. Who was it? Was it?
I don't know who started it.
Mitch King?
It sounds like Mitch King.
I'm actually meeting with Mitch King tomorrow, by the way.
We'll ask him about the heart of the lion. All right.
Yeah.
He'll have a great story for you.
It was
been
this
passed down from. It's like the player's Iron Hawk almost.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's just this freaking wood lion that someone got from some like thrift shop or something, and everyone has like who's had it has like carved their number into it, and the person who had it like their senior year passes it down to who they think deserves it next.
Odds are you would have had it.
Yeah, well, I never saw it.
Wow.
I didn't even know that was a
So
thing.
that is an update in the
That's a tough one to know. That might have just ruined my Sunday night.
well,
I
maybe
think
maybe we
tradition-
rejumped it. We might have just kickstarted.
You may have
it.
rejumped it. Maybe I'll be able to.
Good question, Brady.
Yeah, great question. I'll figure that out.
So that's all for me. I'm good. Grant here always has one or two great questions to ask. So Grant, if you'd like to ask those now, go ahead.
Oh yeah. So ask Jack Campbell this too, because he was a big basketball guy in high school as well.
Yeah.
If you went out there right now for Iowa, what's your stat line? Like, assuming you know the sets and stuff, what's your stat line?
What's my stat line?
Yeah.
Freaking 0, 0, 0.
You can't even. You don't even think you can mistakenly make 1 point?
Well, I mean,
You just chalk up a 3?
Can I shoot every single time I touch the ball?
You can do whatever you want. It's a
I can
hypothetical.
do whatever I want. Well, I'm sure I'm getting a 3 in there. I can't really. I had double labrum surgery.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Tough.
Tough one. Tough pill to swallow there,
Not
but
surprising though, you know.
not surprising. No. I mean, I can get up there. Maybe a little fast break dunk if I just kind of cherry pick a little bit.
Okay.
We still dunking right now? What are we
Yeah,
at?
no,
250,
actually.
260?
This is gonna surprise you guys, but I have the vertical record at defensive end.
Which
No
is
shit.
That doesn't surprise me.
I'll give you guys. What do you guys think?
That's gonna be upper 30s, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say 38.
Yeah, probably I'd ballpark it around there. Yeah.
Like I'm to a 41.
Fuck me.
Oh,
Well, jump. It's a jump mat.
I mean, those things are still pretty
pretty
good.
on.
Yeah.
Still
I
40.
may have been, I may have been tucking the knees a little bit.
I tried to never.
I mean,
tuck
my PR on a jump mat is also my PR on the
same 34 for me.
whatever you call it, slap thingies.
Yeah. So if I go to pro day, I jumped to 41 at Iowa. If I jump like a 36 or something, you guys know my knees were tucked.
Okay.
All right.
But yeah, no. Yeah, so I can't do anything crazy. I can do like a back scratcher.
Like windmills or anything?
I don't have the longest of arms.
Same.
Tough one.
Same.
That's okay.
Sorry about that.
Anything else, Grant?
Well, I saw another thing too, where you're talking like Lakers, the LeBron fan. Do you think the bubble does that count, or is that Mickey Mouse?
Come on.
I just want to know.
Are you kidding me?
I just want to know.
Are you a Mickey Mouse guy?
Am I a fan of Mickey Mouse, or am
No. Do you think it doesn't count?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's the most legit.
That's just ridiculous. It's a ridiculous take because everyone was doing the same thing. Everyone had the same. You know what I'm saying? Like everyone was playing in Orlando.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, that's my view of it. I mean, everyone's circumstances were the same. I don't know why it wouldn't count as an NBA championship.
LeBron James. Oh.
I mean, I am a huge LeBron fan.
Yeah.
I think he's the GOAT, but
yeah. Well, I mean, I was gonna ask you, who do you think the GOAT is, MJ or Kobe? But I didn't think that would.
I just read Mama Mentality actually.
And then
we gotta talk about Bill Russell more often.
I think so.
Bill Russell.
Yeah, it's true. That's KF's GOAT right there.
True facts.
Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Bill Russell.
I could just hear KF. There's a guy Bill
11
Russell.
rings.
Oh shit.
11 rings.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got a lot of titles.
That's team meetings. That still gets brought up.
Guaranteed.
And then last one for you though, Joe. You got a lot of great teammates you played with over your career. Where does receiver Jonah Strawhacker rank in your best teammates of all time?
Whoa. Do you know Jonah?
Yeah, he's one of my friends. I told him, on Saturday, I was like, hey, we're talking to Joe Evans. If I bring up your name as like one of your best teammates he's ever had, is he going to know? He's like, yeah. I was nervous. You're just going to be like, I don't know who that is.
No. Me and Jonah definitely would have played basketball. I don't know if I think he played football with me my last year.
Okay.
I believe, but no, he was, I love that kid. I love when I see him around Iowa City.
Yeah.
I'll rank him up there. One of my best teammates.
One of the best teammates of all time. Okay, cool.
I love it.
I'll make sure I'll send that to him.
Yeah. Make sure you tell him that.
Yeah. All right.
So, Kevin, anything else for?
Yeah, man, you got to spend 6 years in the building. Before you leave, you got to give us a KF impression.
KF ordering a pizza.
KF starting a team meeting.
I'll give you one. I'll give you one of his. I'll probably butcher. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to sound like him, but your classic. You know what? I don't know shit about shit, but what I do know is, and then just fucking goes on a little tyrant.
Does he ever still bring like articles into the meeting rooms? Like,
absolutely. All the time.
You guys see this? Oh, you guys don't read articles?
Dude, He would bring the paper in, dude.
Oh, we still get those handed out to us.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, that's 85 minutes that the people are absolutely going to love. We appreciate you coming on. We might have to have you back on because we didn't get to talk much about draft prep and stuff, but we can talk all about that when you're starting for an NFL team next year.
All right, let's hope so, right?
Future Bronco.
Yeah. That'd be sick.
Hard to kill a sewer rat.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, yeah, freaking that was probably one of, I didn't even get to mention this, but good old Josie Jewell. Probably one of my favorite Hawks of all time. Never got to meet him, but
he's average. You're not missing much.
Yeah.
I know he comes on the show quite a bit, but
he's we definitely won't tell him that.
No.
Yeah,
Ed's already way too
He'll probably listen to it though.
He will probably listen to it.
I'm pretty sure he listens to our podcast just to know when we talk shit about him.
100%.
That's the only reason he listens.
100%.
Maybe you can throw that in the old podcast, like, hey Josie, if you're listening, hour 25 mark.
I guarantee he's going to hit us up about it. He will. He's listening. So we've already talked about him too much. His ego is growing. Thank you to everybody for listening. First player pod of the new year. Excited to do more of this. I'm going to have to just get on Joe's ass about giving me all of his teammates' phone numbers. Just randomly.
Well, shit, they're all coming back for an extra year.
True.
They're only how many guys are actually graduating this year?
Not many.
10?
Yeah, not many.
No. Joe's looking for a 7th year, I think.
That was the big joke. Yep.
Of course.
Joe, you find your 7th year yet? I wish I did.
Yep.
Well, it came back.
Gave a 9th to the guy in Miami.
It's true.
I know.
But appreciate having you on. Thank you. Listeners, thank you. We'll be back again on Thursday with another episode. Until then, peace.